Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the warm, sunny weather, especially if you're in the UK. We've had a bit of a heat wave. Um, for those joining us, wherever you're joining us from, either the UK, Nigeria, wherever you may be, we say good afternoon to you and hope you're having a lovely, lovely Saturday. And today on Inspirational Talk, we've got two lovely guests today. Um, But before I go into what they do and and introduce them, I just want to say something. And if there's something you need to take out of this today, is take out the fact that we need to be conscious of what we put in us. So not just reading the Bible, watching TV, and things like that, but I mean about what we eat. So we need to be conscious of that, especially with COVID-19. One of the things that we learned when COVID happened was us boosting our immune system. And how can we do that apart from chucking down tablets down us? It's what we eat as well. So I will hand over to Tolu to do an introduction of our lovely guest today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining again. Another fantastic episode on inspirational moments. And thank you, Lizzie. Thanks for being a beautiful hostess. So I'm super excited about our guests today. The two of them are amazing people. They are diamonds and pearls, and they are impacting the community, and they're growing an amazing business. And just so proud of being able to talk to them, and so grateful for the time they're giving us to be able to communicate with them today. So I'm introducing Goke and Bimbo Balogun, the CEO and COO of So Fresh, one of the largest health food chains in West Africa. They're really growing and they're doing amazing things. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them, read a little bit of bio, and then I'll hand over back to Lizzie. Okay, so having returned to Nigeria in 2008 after a short stint in South Africa, Goke and Bimbo felt compelled to change the narrative around access to fresh and wholesome produce, and in turn transform the fresh produce retailing sector in Nigeria. And this led them to start up So Fresh in 2010, Nigeria's pioneer and leading health food chain. Under their visionary leadership, So Fresh brand is growing to become a national pride with operations across 10 locations in Nigeria. And that's super amazing. Abimbola is a Goldman Sachs scholar, a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, an alumnus of Enterprise Development Center, PAU, and a John Maxwell team member in the United States. Our commitment towards human capacity development has led to creating one of the most productive and happy workplace cultures in Nigeria. She also serves as the CEO of So Fresh. Olagoke is a graduate of biochemistry from the University of Ilorin. I'm super proud of that because I'm also a graduate of Ilorin, showing that great people come from that state. A graduate of the prestigious, he's also a graduate of the prestigious Stanford SEED, and an alumnus of Enterprise Development Center, PAU. He is the CEO of So Fresh. He has had over 15 years of varied work experiences across different industries, companies, functions, including sales, marketing, business development, strategy, and operations, before committing fully to the entrepreneurial journey. He's passionate about building sustainable organizations that will outlive generations and so on sound business principles. And I find that pretty amazing because that's one of the things that we need in this generation, businesses that outlast generations. Driven by the quest to create meaningful jobs and contribute to national development, they currently employ about 100 employees with plans to create over 10,000 jobs in the next 5 years. As part of their own way to give back and mentor other young entrepreneurs in Africa, Abimbola spends time providing online business training and coaching support to young and growing businesses, while Goke spends time providing business coaching support and strategy consulting to young and growing businesses. They're blessed with two vibrant, beautiful sons. So they're an amazing couple that work together to build an amazing business, which I think is fantastic. You know, you can see that the solid home front is going on, and they're using all the years of experience that they've had, and they've, you know, built that into, you know, building an amazing business. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are very grateful for the opportunity you're giving us to come on Inspirational Moments to share your story. Because like I always say that the greatness of people, or the secrets to people's success in their lives, is usually lies in the stories that they tell. So if we pay attention to people's stories and what they share, we'll be able to get some things from them. And also everyone listening, thanks, God bless you. You are a diamond and a pearl, and you know, we are a Christian organization, Precious Pearl, and our mandate is to empower the world one person at a time. So we know that you're listening, you're on your journey, and you're already there. Keep shining. God bless you. I'll hand over to Elizabeth, our beautiful hostess, to carry on with the interview.
Thank you, Tolu.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks so much, Tolu, for that wonderful introduction. Welcome, Bimbo, and welcome, Goke. But before I even ask any question, I just want to be cheeky and say something. How does it feel working with your husband?
It feels really wonderful. Honestly, it feels really good, especially the kind of man Goke is. He's not too demanding. Yes, it can be, you know, when we have projects and all of that, but really it's been sweet. It's been a very wonderful experience.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. So I know Tolu's read your bio and everything, but can you tell us a bit, when I say tell us a bit more about yourself, I mean about So Fresh, what led to you starting So Fresh? What, how will I put it? Let me put it this way. What led to you leaving where you were to return to Nigeria, one, and then you decide this is what we're going to do, and then you're working together to achieve that dream?
Thank you. So a little bit more background. I grew up in Ilorin, Kwara State. If you're not too familiar, so it's not a very busy, or let's say cosmopolitan town like Lagos. So it's a bit slower. You have a lot of, let's say, the rural, kind of, lifestyle. So for both of us, we grew up around that environment, and we were used to having fresh fruits and vegetables, even in our home. So I grew up in a home where we had lots of gardens and plants. So I was actually used to having these things fresh, and that was my experience growing up. And then so when we got married in 2007, we traveled out to South Africa for a training, actually. And it was supposed to be for 2.5 years. So we were always going to return anyway. But that experience, shifted how we, how we saw things, especially with access to, food, access to fresh foods, vegetables, fruits. I mean, we got those things over there in a very organized environment. That was the first time, actually, I must say, I was going to see fruits and vegetables sold in supermarkets, very clean, looking very healthy, everything was fresh. You could practically eat it out of the, out of the shelf. That's what I was used to, where the markets were smelling, they were dirty and all of that. And so when we came back to Nigeria in 2008, and then we started that process all over again. We were giving back to our first child, and we went to the market a lot, almost, most of the time. Sometimes we went in together. Most times, because of the baby, I hold the baby in the car. I mean, we all know how markets could be in Nigeria, so she would go into the market. And when she was coming back, she would look so tired, so stressed up. I didn't like that experience. And so, one day I just thought to myself, what about if we recreate that experience that we've had? And this was like 2009. there was nothing like that in Nigeria, really. Why can't we create that experience where we have fresh fruits, vegetables, like a modernized farmers market? It's clean, it's serene, we've washed it, people come in, it's a nice setting, and you get everything you want. You know that you buy apples here, then you walk some distances to buy peppers, then you walk some distances. So I shared the dream with her, and immediately she said she loved it. I wanted to paint it in a not too interesting way. The question I asked her was that, I mean, she's a lawyer, and I asked her, would you like to sell pepper? And she said, why not? I said, really? So, that caught me by surprise. And I shared the whole idea with her, and I'll probably say at that moment, she was on fire with the idea more than I was, And so that was how it all started. And, we started to, prospect for location. We studied about, retailing fruits and vegetables. So the original So Fresh idea was just to sell fruits, vegetables, and more like every other thing you will need in the kitchen, fresh. So that was the original idea. I don't know if you'd like to add anything to that.
Right, you literally captured so much, right? Like he said, I idea for two major reasons. I hate stress, right? Like he has also expressed, and I love good food. I love growing up as well. We had fresh guava, we could pluck it at home, mangoes and all of that. So coming to Lagos, it was scarce and it was strange to us because I lived how many years, in Kwara State before I got married, about 25 years. And so it was something I was used to and something I was very passionate about. So when he shared it, I'm like, yes, we'll do it. Because I know that we're not just going to present it in the regular way. I know it's going to be something really nice. Again, there was nothing like this in this environment at the time. We're talking about 10 years ago. And so it felt like a good challenge. Like, yes, let's start it. Let's see. And if we succeed at it, we'll be the pioneer and, we'll make the news and, we would have created a big impact in the Nigerian society. So it was like a good challenge, like, yes, let's learn through the phase, let's make our mistakes and let's empower more businesses. Let's show them that it is possible to have a dream and build it to become really great.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. So that's basically having organic food, at your disposal. Because one thing I realize is most of the food we eat nowadays, they've been processed one way or the other. Having it fresh does a lot of, but because they're processed, a lot of the nutrients are lost. But having it fresh at your doorstep, let's put it that way, goes a long way as well.
So, for example, that wasn't how I grew up. So we used to have big farms. We planted maize, guinea corn, cassava, yam, and then we actually harvested those things and ate them. Almost not processed. The biggest processing was to dry and grind it. So that was how how I grew up. That was what I was used to. So I wasn't used to a lot of processed food as we have now. And that was the experience I wanted to recreate.
And there's something I wanted to say as well, that it's amazing that, when God gives us an idea based on the environment that we are in, and we're able to key in that and use that to move things forward. And God didn't just come down and be like, this is an idea. He gives you those moments of inspiration, and it's really up to you to catch up on that. Get yourself in sync and move with it. I grew up like that as well. My dad has a bean. We used to grow beans in Nigeria then. And then we used to have guava trees to go plant. But it's funny, like here in England, it's different. For example, the neighbor in my house has an apple tree. And the apples fall off and, onto the ground in our house sometimes. And the other day I picked one up. I was like, oh, this looks good. My kids looked mortified. Like, Mom, are you going to eat that? I'm like, we ate stuff like this going on.
That's how to actually eat it.
I'm like, you go and you pluck whatever you want. You wash it and you eat it, And someone actually had an idea to grow a farm here in England, and people go and actually pick that. So saw that as an idea as well. And people go to pick their fruit from the farm rather than buying off the shelf. So it's amazing, like, you know, what you guys saw, and then you latched onto that.
Thank you.
Environment, which, you know, it's an amazing takeaway for me. Over to you, Elizabeth. I just wanted to, you know, point to that.
But having said that, you know, how easy was it for you to start this? How easy was it? I know with everything, basically, there's always one challenge or the other. So what challenges did you have? Did you have to like register the business? What loops did you have to jump through to get it going?
So a lot of hurdles that we had to cross. One was finding the right name, finding the right name for the business. So we knew that the core of it would be to sell fresh fruits and vegetables. And at the same time, we wanted it to be a one-stop shop for other produce. So like yams, you know, brown rice, healthy oils, healthy grains. So it was like a healthy store where you could come and pick the healthier version of rice, of beans, of your seasoning, you know, but it wasn't tagged the health shop, because at the same time, we didn't want it to look like it's an healthy kind of thing, but be like a lifestyle. Come in as you're buying your rice, buy your fruits as well, and make it part of your meal. Don't see it like a side dish or something that is not as important. So everything was put together. So we're looking for the right name. Eventually we settled for Fruity Veggies, which was fruits and vegetables. I mean, for lack of, you know, maybe more creative word, and we needed to hit the ground running. So we settled for that name and we had to register it, of course. So the next hurdle was to find the right location. So the area we lived at that time, we had to drive, literally always driving around to see where the right spot would be. Remember, we had just moved into Lagos, and so we are not so familiar with areas that would move market, like Nigerians would say, move market. So eventually we found one, and we settled for it. So that again was a lot of hurdle. And the way the property, the way we met it, we had to literally rebuild, remodel. So it's a lot of you know, planning and setting up the store, which was good. Another one was finding the right people to work with, that would understand and key into your vision. Another hurdle was sales, right? Sales, because this was like alien to us here. You're selling fruits, apples and oranges in a sushi store, like in a very air-conditioned, beautiful store. Why should I come in here and buy from you? You would cut my head off because you have put all the cost on it. So people still enjoyed going to the open market where they could freely negotiate and, you know, haggle with those malams and those women. So it took a lot of education. It took a lot of, perseverance on our side, you know, to go all out to market, to let them know that, no, it's not as expensive as you think. This is organic, this is better, this is healthy, and all of that. So stimulating the market for it was the hardest part of it. It was really hard. Yeah, and again, because because before you put all the cost on it, it was a bit pricey for them, for the location we were at the time. So all of those things were the hurdles we had to cross and learn from the beginning, because even managing the business of fresh fruits and vegetables was also something we had to learn, because we haven't done it before. So creating recipes for our menu, product testing, preservation. And so literally both of us had to share roles and work on it before it began to grow.
Wow.
Let me share a fun story about something Bimbo said. So like about 1.5 years into when we started, things weren't going really as planned. And so we even needed more money. So I told my mom, we had an uncle in Lagos, if we could get a loan of like $1 million, 1.5 million.
Yeah.
And yes, and unknowing to me, my uncle kind of did a mystery shopping. So went to the store, both of us weren't there, and then called my mom, would I say in anger or bewilderment? I was bad and I'll translate it. Said, Elizabeth, that's my mom's name. She pineapple ni gokenta leko to our staff to rent the shop. My uncle called my mom and said, is pineapple goke? I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are on this platform right now, and I was supposed to study medicine. I studied biochemistry. So the expectation was I was going to go on and study medicine. Now I get a job. I come to Lagos and I start selling pineapples. Is it pineapple? They employed staff, they got a shop, they put a. I can't give these guys anything. They are not serious. There was actually a lot of disbelief. Remember, this was 2010. Nigerians salads as food. Fruits and vegetable was more like optional. Even talking. Health awareness was not this strong. So getting people to believe in the product, overcoming that demand barrier was probably one of the greatest, challenges we faced in the beginning. And we had to stay at it for a long time, amongst other challenges, Bimbo had mentioned.
Wow. But seriously, I do not blame your uncle for saying that. The expectation our parents have on us back then. You can't say, for example, you want to be an actor or an actress, you get that look. You can't say you want to be a dancer or a DJ for that matter. It has to be a lawyer, a doctor. I can't count the number of lawyer and doctors that every parent wants their child to be. But the thing is this, as long as we are happy and we are doing what we're called to do, that's what should matter. But I bet now, if you ask your uncle what he thinks about that business now, the story has changed.
It's a very different story.
Because then he's just thinking, why this guy went to university? Why will he be selling pineapples and stuff? But he didn't, it's good that you stuck with the vision you had, because this is God-given vision. If you look at what people say, this is what we keep saying to people: when God has given you a vision, stick with it and run with it. If you need means to run with those visions, God will provide supernaturally, and people that even doubt you will be the ones to actually celebrate you, as long as you stick to that God-given vision. And that's what it is now. Our parents they're funny. Those generations are very funny. They're special. But we can't blame them. That's what they know, though.
Yeah.
That's what they know. So
Yes.
So So as a couple, I said this jokingly before, saying to Bimbo that how do you find growing a business with you and whatever. Well, I just want to look at it from this angle. You're a couple, you've grown this business, you're doing this business together. How do you do you take work home? For example, you're doing it together and then you go home. Is there how will I put it? Do you have we don't discuss this between this hour and that, we don't discuss work or something like that? Or we only discuss work between this hour and that, or on our way home we can discuss work. But when we get into the house, we leave work behind. We're now a family, and we talk about home. So how did you do that? I just want to know, because I know it's interesting working with your partner actually, because you're on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got goals, and you working together. You know that this is our goal, and you can support each other. But how do you demarcate that work from family life?
Very interesting question. And it's difficult, right? Probably one of the biggest challenge running a business, with your spouse, is to find that separation and find that balance. And for us, the way I would put it is that we had to go through phases. When we started, there was nothing like that. Every single thing we did was about the business. At home, in the car, the bathroom, on the bed, on the dining table, everywhere. Because I mean, at that starting point, there was a lot of enthusiasm, excitement. You wanted to put everything into it to make sure that it worked.
It works, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you see something start to grow, you're even more excited about it. But at a point in time, we have to catch ourselves because it could really get frustrating and boring, where it almost seems like you don't have a life. Even I think in that very early years, like between 3 and 4 years, we felt like the family, even our kids, were a bit not well attended to. So we have to sit down by ourselves and, we like to recalibrate and, what our priorities, what was important to us. For both of us, we found out that family was key. And so from that moment, we said family was going to be number one. So we made quite a number of changes, very deliberate changes. I mean, one of those few changes I remember we made that, so we used to have school bus drop off our kids, pick up our kids and drop them off. But we made a change possibly more than 7 years ago that we were going to take our kids to school and bring them back every single day. And we've done that for the last 7 years. The 1 hour, the 1, 2, 3 hours to and from school is always a very valuable bonding time for us. So we had to make those changes deliberately. And I also said this in physio, there are times we've made up our mind that we need to stop talking about work all the time. And then maybe we'll do it for like a month or 2 months and then catch ourselves. So, it's been on and off. We just try to be very deliberate. So before like the pandemic happened, what we try to do is that every quarter or every 2 months, we take 3 days away. Myself, my wife, the boys, we just go off on a weekend off, mostly 3 to 4 days. We go off, yeah. We just play around.
Back soon, by God's grace.
Yeah. So it's about finding those opportunities and being deliberate about choosing, those activities you would do away from work, because it does tend to take the whole of you, especially when you're doing a business. It requires, especially in those very early years, growing years. So early years, it requires a lot of us. Now we're growing, it requires a lot of us, so it's just about being deliberate about choosing those ways. But I can't, we still discuss on the bed, we still discuss, during dinner times, but we just try to be deliberate.
Well, you've been deliberate about it. So you're deliberate about family time, bonding time as well, which is really good. And I like the fact you say you do go away every quarter, you go away for the weekend with your boys and your wife. That is actually, you're being intentional about, and then you've set your priorities. You're looking at where the businesses are now and, what's suffering, what can you let go of, or what can you do to like reprioritize where you are and where you need to be. And that's really fantastic. I'm actually learning a lot from this, and I'm thinking, so because everything we do, we have to be intentional, to be honest. Even if you're working 9 to 5, you have to be intentional with the kind of jobs you go for, what you do. Exactly. Even with parenting, we need to be intentional. So everything has to be like
9 to 5, you can get consumed with work. After hours, you're still working and working. So
COVID has made, a lot of people working from home, and COVID has made us realize that we're working ridiculous hours. Yeah. The ridiculous hours that is eating into family time that, but being intentional about creating that time away, like this is the time I'm cutting off and I'm, spending time with the family goes a long way. Thank you so much. I've got another question because Bimbo was talking about creating recipes and stuff like that. So how do you balance? So when you're creating your recipe, for example, how do you know the content of carbohydrates that needs to be in there, the content of fat, the content of protein? How do you do that? I know you said you learned a lot when you went into this business. I just want to, have an idea of how do you create the recipe? What's the thought that goes into that as well? And finding the balance with the, because it has to be balanced.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we had to take a lot of training online, right, to understand all of those balance and ability to have a healthy meal. So we, our focus, of course, is to ensure that each bowl of our salad is, it has a rich combination of all the carbohydrates and the proteins and the fats, okay? And we also have to ensure that it fits into the Nigerian palate. And so we are working with recipes that resonates with our local, taste. And again, like I said.
So, for example, you're not going to find a Caesar salad on a So Fresh menu.
Now I get what you mean.
The salads are, are like customized to
yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so we've had to learn through the process. Like when we started, it wasn't like that. We were just mixing stuff. We mix it until we felt it tastes good. Because we started juices and smoothies, and so we were just mixing things. So this tastes good. We just we try this and try that. But as we went along, and she made a comment at the start. We didn't even call it an healthy store. I think we also didn't realize it was going to be something that was geared towards health, because we just wanted to have access to natural food, fresh. But as we went along, we discovered that our customers wanted something healthy and all of that. So we had to go back, do a lot of research, read up, on healthy food, healthy eating, and all of that. And then we now started to create additional menus along that theme, looking at how many calories will be in our salad, even up to the dressing and all of that. So it's been a learning process. And for me, one of the things I've learned is, as an entrepreneur, was it not Mark Zuckerberg that said that when the ideas come, they don't come fully formed. But being able to learn and open up, to improve and get better at what you're doing, I think is one of the biggest secrets of being an entrepreneur. So don't look at starting from that high point. It's a very small idea, totally, like you said, we didn't even talk about it, but along the line we had to even change the, I don't, not that I really changed the model. So, we wanted to sell fruits and vegetables, but the customers wanted something slightly different. They wanted, the kind of customers they were attracting wanted it prepared. They didn't have time to go and be cutting.
Go and do it themselves.
So they were asking us for juices, for smoothies, for salad, and we had to respond. And that was how we started learning. We were just experimenting. So we had to respond to that. And, that was how we started, putting all those things together. Now we have a team, a product development team. We want to come up with a new recipe. We have a team that works on that. Sometimes it's a month, 2 months of testing with the customer.
Yeah, so before you eventually launch, we have
to test with the customer.
Yeah. They are at the market.
Yeah. Wow. So for example, the smoothie like you do, so you've got customers asking you to so do you chop them up and put them in like bags and they can go and blend it themselves, or do you already blend them and put them in packets?
We don't have that.
We do it for them.
Process, yes, right now we do it for them.
And it's on demand. So when you come into the store in order for a smoothies, just like most smoothie stores, everything is prepared right in front of the customer.
Okay, but I'm just being what's it called? But is it something you would consider doing by having the different smoothie already chopped and in baggage, in packs for people to go home and blend?
And all that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a possibility. Nothing, especially with what we have now. There's a lot of will I say, people at home. They're not going out as much. And so we're also reimagining the way we're serving and presenting our products. So that's not off the table really.
Okay. Reason I'm asking. Oh, sorry, Toby.
So I was going to say that I really love the fact that they've evolved by being customer centric. Because a lot of things you said is because that's why a lot of businesses struggle. Businesses have an idea of what they think they want to be like, rather than aligning yourself with what your customers want. I was reading about Amazon and how they really grew and took over the world. was just by really sensitive and listening to what the customer wanted. And they really, boomed after that. So yeah, well done and kudos to that.
In fact, now if I talk to entrepreneurs, that's where you should start from, the customer. What do they want? How do they want it? When and where? So that really helps you. So you do all that. Even we didn't do that, and we learned through the process. We probably suffered with it for like 2-3 years. But right now, anything we're doing is about the customer. You're not the ones going to consume the product. So you have to find those people that you want to serve.
The end users.
Tell you, what it might be physical, it might be you taking data and all of that, but it's a very important process in setting up a business.
Okay. The reason I was asking about the smoothie thing is, I know at the moment you're concentrating on West Africa, but I'm thinking, is this something that you see the company growing beyond the shores of Africa? So for example, packaging, I know if you're going to do that, it will be a lot of packaging to get it across to, because we've got Africans literally in every part of the world. We've got Africans literally in every part of the world. And having something that is palatable to our to our taste board goes a long way as well. I know how we will go, especially in the UK, how we'll go out of our way to get some African foods just because we just So this is why I was asking about the smoothie thing. Is it something that you're thinking of, packaging it and and preserving it as well, because we still want to have that freshness and that organic part of it as well.
Yeah. Certainly, like he said, it's not totally off the table. So the dream keeps evolving.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
So the other thing I was going to ask about is, where do you get your supplies from? Do you have like a farm, or do you have farmers you partner with?
Yeah, so it's a combination of the supply chain is not centered around just one model. So we have farmers, and then we also go to the open market to get some vegetables, especially if we are not doing a lot of volume on those kind of vegetables. And you won't find farmers who would supply that small quantity. So we go to the open market to get those ones. And so right now, so it's a mix of the open market and the farmers. We work with farmers on the larger produce that we use a lot, and so we are constantly looking for more, because sometimes they are able to supply up to a period of time and they run out of stock. They run out, their yield is gone, so you look for another. So we have a pool and we are still looking for more, really. So it's a mix.
Oh, wow. I like what Goke said about you changing the way you do stuff now due to COVID. So the first question I was going to ask about that is, how has COVID impacted the business?
Greatly.
It's badly.
It's had quite a negative impact on the business. So we were shut down briefly for just about 10 days or so. We opened back up, being a food business. But then, demand, sales has not been back to the level it was even up to now. Previously, we favored stores around commercial areas, but people are not back to the office. A lot of people are working from home. And so the few stores we have in the residential areas are doing well. The others, that were doing well before, COVID, are not doing as well, because some people don't even live close to anywhere we are, but they close to the work area. Lunchtime is always a big time for businesses. Everybody's having lunchtime, at home right now. So that it's been a big challenge. After 4 months, we had closed down 2 stores last weekend. Those ones that are in like main core commercial areas. And because having done a bit of research, it was clear that even the people are not returning back to work, in the numbers they were anytime soon. Even some employers love this situation, because you have very expensive rent, for example, in the Marina area in Lagos. and a lot of businesses are saving on rent, on power, and all of that. So it's been a huge impact, and so it has also forced us to start to rethink how we do business, how we serve the customers, where we reach them. We always had an online platform, but now we're strengthening that capacity, and we're doing more in reaching people, via online channels, and also, improving our logistic capacity so that we can do more deliveries, than we used to do. So it's been a learning process, and it's been tough, but we're pushing through.
Yeah, and the way we have trained ourselves is to always find opportunities in every situation. So the pandemic, yes, it has hit us, unawares. But while we recover, how do we still see the opportunities that lies even in this very terrible situation? And that was our approach to business in the first 3 years. Like we said, we got the location wrong and the business was almost sinking, right? Because we had overheads, we have staff, we have everything, and we have this big dream. We were obsessed about it. We believe that it is a good idea, it is a good idea, but this location is sort of painting it as though it's wrong. So we had to look within again and look at our data. Where are the bulk of our sales coming from? And we can see that it's coming from the island. And we were resident on the mainland. And we said, okay, so if we had a store on the island, that means the chances of having more sales, will be better. And so we had to move and go after where the market is. So in business, there would be tough times. It will always come, and it will come when you don't expect it, because you'll be very obsessed about your idea, very sure that it will succeed. And you will be very surprised, if it doesn't turn out the way. It's not the time for you to quit and, stop dreaming. It's a time for you to, okay, even with this situation, how can I still rise and win? Yeah.
So I like this quote that you can be stubborn with your vision, but you want to be flexible with the details. You want to be flexible with the plan. So your vision is to go this way, but if you're on a particular journey, you find you meet a barrier, an obstacle. You want to re-strategize. Yes, the vision remains the same, but the plan, the details doesn't have to be rigid. You can always be flexible and constantly evolving.
That's true, because the only way we can make anything better is by constantly changing, and change is like a constant thing. So I like the fact that you saw what was going on and you rise to the occasion, and you're like, how can we make this better? Not just saying this is what we want to do, we're sticking with it. Because at the end of the day, that will even make you lose out a lot. But you taking the initiative to look for better ways of doing things, being innovative with what you do, it's kudos to you.
Thank you.
So, and I really can say, sorry to cut you, that health food is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere because the world is crazy about health, and we're looking at the Bami community in England, the Black community and the Asians, and the COVID situation, for example. They said that it hits us mostly because of the health issues we have, because of our diet. So everyone wants to get the diet right. And like earlier on this year, I felt God was really saying to me that whatever you put in your body, that's what you get out of it. Too much salt, that. Too much fat, that. So yeah, the dream is definitely not going anywhere, guys. And we're super proud that you stuck with it 10 years ago. So thank you for sticking with that dream.
I still can't get over the pineapple seller, and you say pepper seller. I still can't get over that.
I'm calling myself that.
Well, you know what? I've been, speaking to you guys, I get the fact that not only do you run with a vision, you had passion as well for the vision. So which even made it a lot easier, to be innovative in what you're doing. So I think Well, we do say that when every time we speak on inspirational moment, we do say to people, find out what that particular what that you have, kind of not looking at other people's vision and running with it. Because if you've looked at other people's vision to run with it, well, you won't be where you are now, because you will have given up along the way, because you're not, because it's your vision. You kind of like have that passion and that strength to like forge ahead every time there's a stumbling block. So the other question I was going to ask before we go is this. So you talked about, strengthening your online presence, for example. So can you tell us a bit about that, what your website is and how you intend to get that running? So people that are listening, especially people in Nigeria, for example, I know you're still west Africa now.
Even if you're in Nigeria, you can order from. We get orders from everywhere in the world. People order for the
Whoa.
Wow.
We have Nigerians in Canada, in the UK. They order for
See, there you go. So that is opening the world to you. This situation, the world is opening and coming to you.
You can order to celebrate a friend, a mentor, a parent, so anything.
So our website is sofreshng.com, www.sofreshng.com. N for Nigeria, G for Go. And so, like I said, we're also very strong on social media. So we have our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's SoFreshNG. We're actually stronger on Instagram, and these are the platforms that we use to sell our products online. So what we started doing differently during this COVID was to start. So we were a very brick and mortar store before the COVID, and everything was geared towards bringing people into the store or people calling into the store. Yes, we had the website was active. So right now we're doing a lot of promo and ad on Facebook. So we're doing Facebook ads to drive that traffic, because even the more people are at home, the more they actually have more time to spend on social media.
Online, yeah.
For example, the commute time in Lagos is average of 3 to 4 hours every day. So that is out of people's commute time. So they spend more time online. They're working online. They're on Zoom. They're on Slack. They're communicating with their work colleagues online. So that is where they are now. They're no longer in the offices. When they were in the offices, the physical spaces made sense. Now that they are online, we're also going to meet them online. So we're doing Facebook ads. We're also doing Google ads. We're launching our So Fresh app very soon. With the So Fresh app, it's even more convenient and easier for people to order. So right now, that is that more than 80% of people that order on our website use a mobile phone. When you do that with the app, the experience is smoother. So we want to ease that experience for people ordering online. We're also, we've always been strong on social media, but we're also, strengthening that, creating more opportunities for engagement, for visibility. So that's where we're actively, driving a lot of traffic towards our site. Yeah. And of course, so on the e-commerce side as well, we've had to engage some experts. What I've learned this period is, if you're going to, it's not just enough to have a website and directly there. There's a lot of optimization to even be able to track the data of people coming to your website. You can offer them things. So there's just so many optimization we've now started to do even on the website itself. So that it's more convenient and targeted towards people that are online. Yeah, online.
One quick question. I keep saying one quick question. I know. Sorry. It's just as you're talking, and then I get something. I'm like, One other question I want to ask is: have you thought of partnering with people? When I say partnering with people, like small businesses that want to be like, how will I put it, like your mini depot, but having someone take their idea that I want to do this, but I don't know how to go about it. But have you thought of partnering?
Franchise, you mean?
Yeah, like what's the word?
Franchise?
Franchise. Yes, thank you. Like having a franchise with different people.
Oh, okay. There's a similar model to that, so that we are working on, which is like shop in shop now with big supermarkets and supply fresh salads, or we have a fridge in their store, you know, with stores with high footfall, and we are able to supply and sell. For franchising, the idea is also on the table, but it's not fully formed, but the process is, you know, ongoing. But right now what we're working with is finding bigger stores that we can supply this fresh juices, or possibly have a staff with a branded fridge that can also, you know, sell this product. And if we have quite a number of them, it's also an avenue to spread faster. So while we may not be able to have a physical store everywhere, we are well represented even in neighborhood stores in those areas that our customers live.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I don't know if Lizzie has any questions. I have one question I've been meaning to ask. What advice do you give people living in diaspora that want to set up a business back home? What advice do you give? Because I've heard lots of people say, "No, yes, I want to go back. I have an idea. I want to do this. I want to do that." What advice do you give them?
So, I mean, the first thing I would say, I think
coming
back to start a business, or they're still there.
Find someone to manage it while they are there.
For the second option, I think that's a very tough thing to achieve, especially in the starting years, incubating a business. It's very important a lot of times for the visionary to be there to drive the vision, to drive the structure and the momentum. And the culture at the beginning. So what I would say is start before you quit. So if you're working, find a 2-month break, find a 3-month break, calm down, test out the idea, and be sure that you have customers for that, and you have customers for the idea, you have enough customers for that idea. There is a market for what you want to do, especially if you have been away for long and maybe very early years. You want to actually come back and understand, you know, a bit of the culture, how people perceive things, how people buy and all of that, because that's also important in running a business, understanding the business environment. So I would say, you know, within a period of 1 year, if you can find time within those time to come and actually test it out before committing 100% to it. And in testing, you're really testing with the environment, you're testing with the customer, so that you can understand, you know, what the business potential is, you know, for that business before you fully commit to it. I'll personally not advise for you to still be, you know, away and, you know, starting a business in Nigeria, except is for example, a partnership. So, you know, you've decided to partner with someone that is as invested and passionate about it with you. And then if you find that kind of partner, you want to clearly define the vision and the mission for the organization. You also want to clearly define things around culture, how things are done, how finances are managed. You want it to be written in clear terms, and you also need to find a way for you that you are a way to get, you know, an overview of what's going on, either day to day or weekly or monthly, you know, reports and all of that. So you want to think along those lines. But starting a business, it requires foot on the ground.
Yeah. So I guess what you might say, and I asked them about this as well, is so if there's someone that wants to start a business anywhere in the world and they're afraid, they're worried, people are saying that, are you sure that, what would be your advice to them?
They want to start a business, but they are afraid.
They're afraid, yeah. They have the vision, they have all the plans, but then people are saying, you know, like we were saying about your uncle that said, and the fear is so, you know, it's just there, you're thinking, I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'll just say that silence the voices by doing it afraid. So it's your vision, it's your journey. As long as you are convinced with the idea, the strategy, and the plan generally around it, I'll say go for it and keep learning through it. Listen to your customers, listen to the market, listen to your employees, find mentors or people that have gone ahead of you, that you trust, that you can always go back to for advice. But fear can never make you achieve anything in life. Fear, it gets you nowhere. But I know it's real. People's life have been locked down because of fear. So you need to break free from that fear by silencing those voices and doing it afraid. It's tough, but you need to go for it. And I truly believe that it will turn out well. Look at our stories today. There were so many naysayers that didn't see it, but we were totally obsessed about it. I mean, it's incredible. Like almost just two of us saw it, and so many other people couldn't see it. Like,
Wow.
Nigerians, are you sure? They will say this salad is bush, is grass, is this, is that. Why don't you think of premium stuff, sell jewelry, sell clothing materials? Everybody, so many ideas, but we kept our focus. So stay with your focus, but don't stop listening to your customers.
Well, we did say earlier on that, you know what, if you stick to your what's it called, vision, people that actually mock you will be the ones to celebrate you. And I like the fact you're saying block out those naysayers, the negative vibes, block out. Because the thing is this, the vision is for you, not for anyone else. So you know what the vision is. So you don't have to like listen to anyone. Just start small. Okay, I said it earlier on, saying start small as well. Just start small. It doesn't matter what level you're. Just start.
To overcome the fear. Just go at it.
Go, take the dive.
Yeah.
From where you are, with what you have. Just that.
And it also made me realize, in the Bible, when they're talking about things, God would not put things in your hand. It's whatever that's in your hands that He will bless.
That He will use. That He will use.
So it's not you waiting, for other people to like, this vision is yours. So just run with it. Thank you so much. I wish we can keep you for so long, but it feels good talking to you because like I said earlier on,
enjoy the chat as well.
Earlier on,
like you were right here beside us, like technology has gone crazy.
I know. See, COVID has made something out of nothing. To be honest, it made us think about the way we do things, rethink the way we do things, be conscious of things as well. So, for example, now we're actually conscious about our health. What do we put in our body? What do we eat? Living right. So it's in a way it's good. In a way it's good. So, like I said to people, if you just join us earlier on, I said if there's anything you take out of this, is whatever I put in me is what I am. So let's go on to, because they've got a website. We've put it on in the chat box. If you want to click on it, they deliver anywhere in the world. So please do not think it's just for Africans or West African countries. No, they will deliver to you in the UK. Just go on the website. It's www.sofreshng.com. So we put it in the chat box as well. You can follow them on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook at SoFreshNG as well. Thank you so much, guys, for coming online. I love the fact that I will call you a power couple actually. Because, yeah, I would, because you saw the vision and you both ran with the vision, and and that, not only that, I think that has actually helped strengthen your marriage as well, because you're on the same page. So thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you for having us, Tolu.
I'll pass you on to Tolu to do the honors.
Oh, we don't want you to go. I've had an amazing time. And I've not seen Goke in like 2 decades. It's amazing seeing all faces that you started together and they're doing amazing things. And it's just a testament to God's grace. God is a good God, is amazing. You know, we're doing this because we're a Christian charity, and we always stress the fact that we're nothing without God's hands, without God's help. And whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to become, by the grace of God, you can achieve anything. You can be anything as long as God's in it. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking time out of the busy time. And really, I see So Fresh going worldwide because honestly, this is COVID might seem like, you know, you said that you had to close 2 stores. Sometimes God takes us through these journeys just to get us to even a bigger place. So like, I'm waiting to see So Fresh in the UK. I'll be the first to go. I'm taking you as well. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Families, God bless you.
Thank you. Wish you the very best. God bless you and keep doing great things.
God bless
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. See you later and God bless. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.